Hello, programmers. I decided to make another video about ArrayLists to complement what you're getting in CodeHS. There's a couple things I didn't mention, and I just wanted to reinforce some stuff. So here's what's going on. I made a program that just loads cities into an array list based on user input. So here's my declaration of the array list. And one of the cool things about array lists is you do not have to define how many numbers they are. It's a dynamic list, which means when you run the program it can go from having 0 elements to 10 elements, then you can remove elements and it might have 7, then you can add elements and it might have 12. So it can grow and shrink as you're using it. And that's one of the reasons why it's got a different method name for knowing how big it is. So if you want to know how big an array is, or an array list is, you use size. So I've used this Boolean to stop the loop because I'm going to do user input. This is where I'm inputting a string to, and of course the scanner. So here's my loop. It goes until it's not done. Which means you'll be able to enter right away because I initialized done to false. There's my prompt statement, and then the city gets typed in, and then done gets set to true or false. Checking to see if the user typed in stop. If they didn't type in stop, then we add the city to the array list, and this prints out the array list. Now, some of the exercises, or maybe one of the examples, uses this, the fact that we can just print out the array list. We could, if we were using objects, create our own toString class, but array lists have the ability to print themselves anyway, and you'll see that when I run this. So let me run this program. And let's put in Boston, Munich, Detroit, Albuquerque. I'm pretty sure I spelled that wrong. We should put Cary in. Let's put London. Let's get a few more international cities. And if I feel like I've typed enough cities, I can just type stop. My loop stops and it prints the cities. So one of the things that's built in is when it prints an array list, it automatically puts square brackets at the beginning and the end, and it separates each item by a comma, which is super nice. Okay, so the things I'm going to show you is, what was I going to do? Oh, I'm going to let them enter a number, and it will return what city it is. So let's go back to the code. This bothers me a little bit, but I'm not going to do methods. But so I'm going to let them enter a location, and the city will be printed. So I'll start with a prompt statement, and I'm actually going to start with a blank line so it's not mushed in with the printout of the cities. And I'm going to say enter a position, which is from 0 to, now remember, I want to print how many there are. So I can do, I can do cities.size, but I have to do -1 because the size is 1 larger than the index. And I will print the city located there. Now, probably I should have a check What doesn't this like? I might need parentheses around this. Okay, it's happier about that. I could have a while loop to make sure they enter a legal number. I'm not going to bother with that because you guys know how to do it. So I'm just, excuse me, I'm going to write int is num city, and we're going to do scan dot next int, and I'm also going to do a scan dot next line to eat up that return thing, and then I'm going to do my sysout, which will say, oops, the city at that indice is plus cities dot get num city. And I misspelled city, so let's fix that. Okay, no red lines. I'm not going to test that one yet. So I'm going to do another thing. Actually, maybe I will test it. So let's check this out. I'll just enter a few cities. Let's do Cary, that's short and sweet. Boston, New York, San Francisco, stop. Okay, I got my dash wrong here. So I'll fix that when we go through again. So I have four cities. Notice it's doing this right. So I have to enter an indice from 1 to 3. Let's put in, sorry, from 0 to 3. Let's put in 1. And the city of that indice is Boston. So it worked. I just got to clean up that print statement. So when I go back here, I will switch my slash to the proper slash. And I want to end my parenthesis. And that worked fine. So let me go to the next thing where I am going to add another city. Add more cities. I'm going to write a sysout again. I'll do my correct end this time, which has to be in quotes. Actually, did that wrong. So how many cities do you want to enter? And I'm just going to use that num cities again because I need an integer and I'm not using that one anymore. So I'm going to say num city is equal to, actually I can just copy all this. Okay, so now I know how many cities they want to add. I think the best way to do that now, because I have a concrete number of cities, is to use a for loop. So I can say for I int I get 0, I less than num city, I plus plus, and I can do these 3 lines again. Well, I don't need these 3 lines. Okay, so copy, get my loop in there, paste, and it doesn't need this loop anymore. Enter city. And instead of putting entry here, you can go ahead and do, whoops, This is a nod to Jonathan. We can do cities dot add scan next line. Oops, it'll work if I spell it right. And let's go ahead and print our cities out again. So this edition added more cities. They decide how many cities they want, and then they enter them, and then it will print the newest updated list. So I will run this again, and we'll just start off with a couple here: Boston, Los Angeles, and then I'm going to stop. And then I'm going to enter a 1, and that city's Los Angeles. Let's enter 4 more cities. Ooh, that's interesting. I'll check that in a moment. Gloucester, New York, Singapore, and then, so it only added 3 more. So I got something going wrong here. Let's see. Did I accidentally, maybe I didn't like this one. Shouldn't though. Oh, that says has next line. It's supposed to say next line. Okay, I don't like that autocomplete. How about this one? That one too. So let's get rid of that. Okay, that should fix that error. And this is supposed to be a lowercase n, lowercase n. Now that should work. Okay, 2 more things I want to do. We are going to print the first entered for the first and last in list. Let's do first, last, and middle. So here we go. We're going to do sys out, and I'll start with a new line. First city is plus cities dot get 0. That one was easy. Copy, paste. N is a problem. That was just a typo. Okay, I'm going to do this 3 times. Copy. So to print the last city, and then middle. So we need to get cities dot size -1. So the size of the array list -1 for the index, and this should be cities dot size divided by 2. Okay, let's do one more thing, and then we'll test the whole thing. So enter the city you want to remove. So check this out. Copy, sys out. Don't like it when it does that. Want to remove. And so do I have a string available? I can use entry again. So I'm going to say entry gets scan dot next line. Okay, so here's the deal. You got to find the index of, I'm going to do this in separate lines. So int remove num is equal to cities dot index of entry. And then what's wrong with that? Oh, that's dumb. Okay, so now we're going to do cities dot remove entry. I haven't reprinted list, so I'll do sys out. Oh, that's okay. All right, so now I'm going to do sys out, new line, and then I'm going to write updated list plus cities. Okay, so I might have some formatting things, but I'm pretty sure I don't have any errors. So let's go ahead and run it. Let's go international. Sydney, London, Singapore, Johannesburg, Berlin, Sofia, Kuwait City, Venezuela. And I'm going to stop. Okay, so there's all my cities. Enter a position. I will print the city located there. Let's print city 5. And that is Sofia. How many? Let's add some more cities. How many more do I want to enter? Let's enter 2 more, and let's enter Boston. Let's have to have Boston. And let's enter Budapest. Budapest. Okay. So there's my updated list. And then the first city, Sydney, the last city, the middle city, Sofia. Which city do I want to remove? Let's get rid of Boston. It's the only, no, we can never get rid of Boston. Let's get rid of, and there's my updated list. So I've just shown you several methods that cities have. Oh, sorry, that arrayLists has. Remove is the one you're going to have to use for a program. Index of, you may not be using this week. Where's another one? Add is used really frequently, and it's super flexible. And there's certainly other methods for arrayLists, but these are pretty common ones. Oh, we also use size a lot too. So hopefully this gives you a higher comfort level on what arrayLists can do. So I need to stop because this is very long. Thanks for tuning in.